We all went to the Time and Time show that we plugged a little bit there
at
at the end of the last podcast. It was fucking awesome. They did things a little bit differently. Calvin had her back, so they kind of did this whole little drum ensemble between everybody, and it really got my heart racing.
It was awesome.
I thought it was sweet, and I'm being a drummer, I'm kind of into that sort of thing, so it got the blood flowing.
Definitely. It was awesome.
We definitely had a treat there also.
Oh, God. Here we go.
There was a treat. Should we even talk about it, or should we just?
Oh, we should definitely address it. Because
can you really put it into words, though? I mean,
Well, should we wait for our
I can sum it up.
segment?
Well, this is a prelude to a segment which we're having later called the Hippies and Hobos.
I can sum it up right now.
Go for it.
Patchouli.
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 I think face paint would also be one.
Yeah, I didn't realize that we were watching a screenshot of Braveheart recently, but that was cool.
I had some sweet ukulele.
Yeah,
Oh my
awesome,
God, dude!
right?
And like, wasn't it like a midget drum set in there too? Didn't the kid keep playing?
Yeah, it was like a miniature drum set, which was a piece of shit quality drum set, anyways. But I guess that's their thing.
And it's like
That's what they're going for.
it wasn't rhythmed or anything. It was just like the
It
most
was-
random. And Fro come up to me actually. He's like, "Did you smell them people?" I was like, "No." He's like, "They are disgusting." He's like, "Obviously they live out of their van. They haven't showered in weeks." And I was like, "Oh my God." I didn't smell them, but I didn't know if anybody else did because he kept talking about how bad they stink.
Yeah. As much as I love Time and Time, I'm gonna have to say that my favorite part of that show was the Tourette's guy.
Oh, coming out of the show. Yeah, that was funny.
There's a guy who sounded exactly like the Tourette's guy. On his way into the show, he's like, "Oh shit, I missed a show. Oh shit." He walks in and sees that another band's playing. He's like, "Oh, okay." And then he comes.
He looked like him too.
He
Yeah,
did
he
look
was
almost
really
exactly
similar.
like him.
Really similar.
Who's the fourth of tuba?
That ain't Mickey Mouse. That's tit dirt.
Who wrinkled my Randy Travis poster?
Oh shit.
But he walks out and goes, "Oh shit, what the hell is that?
I've had enough.
I've had enough."
It was the most epic thing.
He wasn't even in there for 10 minutes of this other band playing Little Teeth.
I assume he liked it then.
Yeah, that's their name.
Yes.
They're Little Teeth. And you know what? Since they're like the hippies or whatever, you know where they're from?
California.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that explains everything.
Check out the videos on these guys on YouTube. That pretty much sums everything up. We want to name drop another show, or another band, I should say, Crush It to Death. We talked about them on an earlier podcast. Hit up Crush It to Death on Facebook. Aside of that, we've got Tom Hanks next week. Seth Rogen after that.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
Right.
Oh, I'm excited for that one.
And then Lady Gaga's brother, Gary Gaga.
Did you guys? I told you about this, Barrett, but did you hear about Lady Gaga admitting that she has a penis in the British magazine?
No.
I
Yeah.
think it was a sarcasm thing.
I know, but still.
After you actually read the article. But she's got like fucking like Edward Scissorhands on. Like, didn't she have some kind of like blade shards on her fingers of
Dude,
some
the bitch
kind?
is fucking crazy. She wore fucking raw meat to the VMAs.
Well, and she was doing a crotch grab on
That
this
wasn't
cover
the
story.
first person to do that, though. I mean,
Who else did that?
What the fuck is that crazy bastard in the 70s and 80s?
That wore meat?
oh yeah,
Fuck, what the hell is his name?
that's probably the first time. I don't know.
I can't think of his name right now, but he was in a shitty punk band, and at his
Johnny
funeral.
Rotten?
No, but that's
Oh.
that's very close. Shit, man, I can't. His name is drawing a
Shitty
blank
punk
right now.
band? Are you kidding?
No. There's no
Never,
such thing as a
never.
shitty punk band.
Never.
But G.G. Allen. That's it. Fuck. Yes, we could go on about G.G. Allen for a long ass time.
We were shit talking him yesterday.
If you don't know G.G. Allen,
Dead as shit.
Yes, dumb as shit. Just controversial to be controversial. He's been on fucking whenever Geraldo first came out, he was on fucking Geraldo. That's one of the best interviews that I've ever seen. All these Christian parents would get up and yelling at him and shit, and he's like telling them like, "Oh, fuck your Jesus" and everything else. He's going nuts on him, man. You got to check it out. And then at his actual funeral, people shat on him, threw shit at him. I mean, he wanted people to do whatever they wanted to. It was an open casket funeral, and he OD'd. So he had this massive bad discoloration and shit. And he kept threatening to kill himself, which the ironic part of all this is the fact that he just died from doing too many drugs, but not on purpose. But he kept promising everybody, this date, I'm going to kill myself. And then he would be like, I'm not going to do it because that's what you want me to do.
Sounds like my role model.
It is your role model, actually. Also, we alluded to it earlier. We're going to go ahead and talk about our hippies and hobos. And then after that, we're going to talk about all these ridiculous made-for-TV products like the Shake Weight and Snuggies. We've got a few rants on those.
Get strong, shaking some dick.
This is Barrett from the ATI podcast. Each week, Josh and I discuss current events, pop culture, music, TV, movies, politics, sports. Nothing is out of bounds. You can also tune in to learn about rising artists, small businesses, whether it's music, graphic design, filmmaking, or even a brick-and-mortar mom-and-pop shop. We will be spotlighting folks and their endeavors. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, or anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. Just search ATI Podcast. We would like to thank you for your continued support, and as always, please stay safe out there. Lately, I've been calling Josh and been making some
Dwayne
Johnson jokes on Haytel, which is an app for
The fuck
iPhone.
is Haytel?
Haytel is like push to talk, son.
Wait, isn't Haytel that place where they had the earthquake? And Pat Robertson's like, God said all those people stupid, and you all gonna die because you made a deal with the devil.
And Wyclef Jean ran for president of Haytel.
And then he punched, yeah.
Did he really?
Because
Yeah.
he migrated from there, and then he was like, Wyclef, I'll be going to November. He did that.
And then Sean Penn called him out on not doing anything.
And he was like, damn it, Bobby.
Oh, God damn it, Bobby. Oh.
Wish we had a sound clip.
You look pretty, Peg.
I don't know that those voices, those
I sell
impersonations are
propane,
pretty good.
propane accessories.
I'll tell you what Hank Hill hates, and that's hobos and hippies.
Oh, hippies? Damn it, Luann, put on some clothes.
Yeah, I am kind of disgusted with hippies after that Time and Time show, man.
Oh, I love hippies. Hey, can I tell you guys? We're going, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going.
I'm going to tell you guys a really quick story about hippies. So one time I was dating this girl, right? And
Was she a hippie?
no, she wasn't.
Okay.
But she wasn't the most faithful girl, right? So she went
Oh.
with some friends to...
Is this a real story?
Yeah, it's a real story. She went with some friends and went and saw some rainbow people, and Marty got fucked by every hippie there.
Ooh.
Oh my God, dude, that's depressing.
Dude, no, yeah. So I have a special place in my heart for the hatred of hippies because, I've got hippie stank on me.
Yeah,
It'll never come off.
yeah.
That's probably why so many hippies are like, you're cool. And it's like, nuh-uh. I just, got enough of you guys' ball sweat on me. I can't ever get it off.
God damn,
Thanks,
man.
guys. Here's a story about hobos. So I lived in Nashville for like a year, right? And there's this thing called the pedestrian bridge. It's awesome. It's where all the hobos migrate.
They kind of live under it.
Yeah, because it's this big, big bridge, and it's it's pedestrian bridge. It just goes over this rut. There's nothing there. I mean, it's just ground. So just like in movies where you go to the shitty part of town and
There's
there's
bums
like
hanging out.
a whole communion of hobos.
Yeah.
It's just like that, except it's also where the hookers are at. So in
Hobos
order-
and hookers.
yeah, so it's great.
It's a twofer.
Yeah, so you can go and fuck with a hobo and get a $25 blowjob.
Or fuck a hobo hooker.
Not that I've ever bought a hooker, but I have leased one. And here's the thing.
You are running the hot pants business.
Rentone.
Yeah,
The hot guys.
You don't want
The hot
to.
pants.
You don't want to own those. They ride them hard and put them up wet down there.
Oh shit!
It's something.
Jesus.
It's something. My point is this: pedestrian bridge. If you're ever in Nashville, Tennessee, pedestrian bridge, can't miss it. That's where you can get the cheap tail.
All right.
Yeah, and hear old war stories about guys who aren't old enough to be in Vietnam.
I'm gonna have to check that
When
out.
I was in Vietnam, I tell you something, goddamn shooting at Charlie, and it's like, dude, you're like 35 years old. You're barely old enough to maybe be in the Gulf War.
You fucking traveled back in time, man.
Son of a bitch, my career.
Hobos are the secret to time travel.
They have to be. If you put enough of them in a fucking quantum leap accelerator.
They also
They'll
know a lot
vanish.
about the fourth dimension.
Well, ask Rudy Giuliani, man. That's how he saved the country.
Talking
Where'd all
about
the
homeless
hobos in New
people.
York go? Where'd they go?
Have you guys ever watched bum fights?
Yeah.
Oh God, did you see the one where they took the guy and tied him to the tree and then put a Big Mac on one side of him and a crack rock on the other?
No.
What'd you
Dude.
go for?
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
You
crack
tell
rock.
me what you think you went
The
for.
crack rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
His name is Bling Bling.
McDonald's is gross, so yeah. He could always come back to the Big Mac like in a year and eat it. And
You could just go to the dumpster and find him.
Yeah. All those preservatives.
Now,
in
had
there.
it been a McRib? Hey,
Oh,
suckers.
Womanizer, woman.
Aside of Kato's relevance from experience with hobos and hippies, also recently I was a part of a Facebook exchange with a hippie in support of hobos,
What?
which is really a clusterfuck
How
of
can you support
contradiction.
hoboism?
It's it's a sympathy for hobos, which I understand that sometimes there's extenuating circumstances, but whenever these guys, on average in New York, I saw the study on this, panhandlers in New York make $14 an hour on average. So you're telling me that there's people out there that actually make that average, there has to be people that make over $14 an hour.
Oh, yeah.
That's more fucking money than probably 80% of the jobs in this area
Yeah.
an hour.
More money
Well,
than I make.
What? The minimum wage in New York's not even $14 an hour.
Right.
So they're making more than minimum wage in that state, in that city, than people that are, having to go work at fucking
And
McDonald's
pay
work
fucking
harder than
mortgages
they're going to work
and
their entire
a
lives.
rent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me is very disgusting.
And there's no overhead, too. I mean, you got to think. I mean, these guys.
They
I mean,
aren't paying fucking taxes
yeah,
or
I mean,
rent.
They're drinking it. They're smoking it. They're doing whatever they're doing with it. I mean, I'm sure they're not sitting back in a high interest IRA.
Right.
You show me a hobo that's doing that, and good fucking job, dude. Way to cut out the fucking middleman. Who needs a fucking shower? I got an IRA. I can borrow against it. Yeah. That's something. I think I'm gonna quit my job tomorrow.
I'm
You're
moving
gonna have
to
to
New
move to a
York.
big city. Yeah.
I'm moving to
That's
New
the
York.
answer.
I got friends in New York. Maybe they'll give me some panhandling money.
But there's a lot of homeless people that panhandle up at the Del Mar Loop here in St. Louis.
Oh,
It's kind of
yeah.
a hot spot. I've been up there a lot recently, going to shows and stuff, or going to Cicero's. I love the pizza there at Cicero's.
It's also the only place you could buy good crack rock.
That is true. The alleyway behind Cicero's, between
Mhm.
Cicero's and Jimmy John's.
Yep.
That's where you can
Freaky
get
fast.
the best.
Anywhere you can get Fitz's root beer on tap, you can get crack rock. That's pretty much how that works. Everybody knows that.
I got a little bit of a story about a hobo. Well, two stories. The first time that I actually experienced a hobo up there, I did feel sorry for him and give him money. The guy that I was with at the time, made a joke, and I didn't really think about it. I was a little bit sheltered, so I really didn't draw these conclusions at the time. But I gave him a couple dollars or whatever, and I was like, he was right across from Church's Chicken or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I need food," and I'm like, "All right, man." That was not racist.
Yeah.
I didn't identify as to whether or not he was black or white, but he wasn't white.
Well, Josh
I'll say
assumed he
that.
was.
So I gave him a couple dollars, and as soon as we went in there, he goes, "No, you know that he's not going to go get food with that money." And I'm like, "Why not?" He was right across from Church's Chicken. He's like, "No, he's just going to go out and buy another bottle of alcohol." So pretty much from that moment on, I decided that I wasn't going to feel sorry for hobos, regardless of the reason. A couple years later, I ended up going up there, and we're sitting inside my car, and I tell Pam, my girlfriend, not to. I see a hobo walking in the parking lot behind the pageant.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Do not make eye contact with this woman. She's going to ask you for money."
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she gets out of the fucking car, She looks over at this fucking cracked out bitch. Her eyes were bugging out of her head, dude. Her hair was like skin tight back, pulled in a ponytail on her. She had like a midriff cut shirt on, had scars all over. Like I don't know if they were
Ugh.
just like they were like stretch marks. I don't know if it was like from pregnancy
What
or
the hell of a kid she had,
you
dude.
know. She was probably fat and then smoked a lot of crack and lost all that weight or did a lot of meth. She gets it right up in our faces and her head's shifting back and forth, and she's almost like Tyrell off of the Chappelle Show. And she's like, "Yo, man, you got some funny." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" I just grabbed Pam by the hand and we just fucking started booking it for the pageant. She's following all of us, asking people, one after the other for money, and the story drops off there. Again, very anticlimactic, but
Jesus.
But you know what? If you wanna feel like you're doing your part while not doing your part, get a roll of pennies. Take said roll of pennies out of roll, keep them in your pocket, reach in your pocket for some change so they hear it, and then throw it over your shoulder. They'll leave you alone. They got.
They'll be out there
You tried
digging
that?
for it.
I've not tried that. Can we? I've tried that.
You can say that.
It's hilarious.
We're not censored. Well, people up there, like, dude, they just don't care. You remember
No.
when we went to your birthday thing at the Arch? That
Yeah.
guy, this guy. The reason why he wanted money is because he showed us how to get to the spaghetti factory, or not the
yeah, it was.
the spaghetti factory.
Well, he was showing us the easiest way to get to the spaghetti factory and then to the arch.
Yeah, but still, I mean, people gave him money. I'm like, I ain't don't got any money.
Well, you didn't have any money anyways.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, I would have gave it to him anyway.
I gave him like $2.
I know, but
Tony
come on,
gave him
man.
like $5.
I know Tony gave him like a 5. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
There again, that's proof that the panhandlers are making more fucking money. He made $7 for
To show us where the spaghetti factory
what
was.
was it? 5 minutes of work.
Not even probably.
Yeah, I don't even think it was 5 minutes. He was like, "Man, we could stay around and wait for your friend." Josh had to run back to get something in the car, and I'm like, "Fuck that, dude! You're gonna be charging me interest on this shit."
Leave
That's
his
overtime.
ass. He'll find it. He's got GPS.
I personally think that a lot of these hobos, it might be drugs is the reason they don't have any motivation. But you may have been a war vet, or you may have had some kind of lucrative job in the past. But really, it's about taking the initiative to just get off your ass and fucking find a job. Even if it takes, losing a little bit of pride to work at, say, McDonald's. It's money.
Truth.
It's money that you didn't have. You're living on the street. This is a constant income. It may not be anything, but if you're fucking living in the street and that's what you've known for a while, weeks, months, however long it's been, you can save up that money and get an apartment or do whatever. There's a lot of places out there. There's halfway homes.
Yeah, halfway houses, shelters.
Not halfway homes in a prison sense,
yeah.
but there's halfway homes and shelters and stuff to help you start to get on your feet and, apply for government grant or assistance if you need it, like HUD or anything like that. And especially if you're a veteran, you're kind of like at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And, I see a lot of veterans like panhandling in St. Louis, especially outside of like Cardinals games and shit.
Oh, God.
And why?
Right. Well, interesting enough. I mean, someone who takes it's amazing how somebody could have so much pride that they won't do something else to help themselves. They could be so proud of being, especially the veteran,
Right.
Hobos, they have so much pride in that, but have such little shame in the fact that they're willing to exploit that just to get some money.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, we all have friends in the military, and,
Right.
and they're proud, they're proud of where they're from and what they're doing. I couldn't imagine any of those people, any of the people that any of us know, doing that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
just seems, it's oxymoronic. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so proud to have wore this. I mean, because otherwise, how else are you gonna know that they're a vet?
Right.
You just see a homeless guy's a homeless guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
They're
can't
doing
really
something to set
distinguish.
themselves apart, and what they're doing is selling the name of these people and these programs that are available to them. It's just shitty that they would do that.
Yeah.
And not to get on a political rant per se, but speaking in
You go, girl.
generalities here, but a lot of people that find extremists like to the left or the right, a lot of people find those people silly. I mean, I find myself making fun of some of those people at times. people that are extremely to the right, Republicans, they just don't think that they should, they're not really into charity. They don't think that you should have to give any kind of handout to anybody or anybody that hasn't worked for anything. Whenever you have people that are on the far left, and some people consider some hippies very liberal in a political sense, I guess. But whenever you have people like hippies on the far left advertising, hey, these people need help. Well, the reason that they're doing this is because they're seeing shit like Runaways, MSNBC, which is kids who ran away from home and are going to live on the streets of like Oregon and shit. And they're doing panhandling and shit and getting help. I seen some chick that was living on the street that was pregnant that was getting all kinds of help from the government and shit, but she just wanted to live on the street because that's what her boyfriend was doing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Better yourself, dude. If you have the opportunity,
if you're having these kind of problems with your parents, then, get some counseling or something, it's don't run away and get on the street. But
especially when you're pregnant, man. I mean, you're selfish if you're going to live on the streets when you're pregnant. Think about, you need to think
about
of
the life that you're
the life that you're going to have this kid, and then where are you going to take this kid once you get out of the hospital? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You're either going to put him up for adoption or you're going to try to raise him on the streets, and it's not going to happen.
Right.
No.
Formula, trust me, I have 2 kids. Formula is fucking expensive. Even with WIC, it doesn't cover all the food that a baby eats in a month.
Right.
So.
And people, we've talked about it on this show before, people put too much faith into what they see on the media. And not everything you fucking see on MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, it's not all fucking gospel. In fact, the majority of it is probably bullshit. Specifically, how I was talking about how I kind of got into an exchange with a hippie that was for the harboring of hobos or helping hobos or however you want to put it. Her justification was that all these young kids on Oregon, well, obviously she just gave away the fact that she's watching MSNBC's Runaways.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to, do whatever's in the benefit of that show. But also they recognize the fact that these kids have ran away from home and they're trying to, they could easily be living at home with their parents, getting all kinds of help, working at a fast food place or whatever place will hire a 15 or 16-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you see shit on TV, like people like that give people that are on the left a bad name, just like, people who just say, oh, they're fucking losers. They don't have an excuse, on the far right. They give conservatives or Republicans a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of please realize, if you haven't already caught on by now, that everything that you fucking see in the media isn't gospel.
Yeah.
Everything that you see on TV isn't gospel.
I completely agree. A lot of it's opinionated, one-sided.
We also have a little bit of a funny, relevant hippie thing. Kato just recently threw a Halloween party, and somebody came in smelling of fucking patchouli and burning nose hairs.
That is true. Fifth Amendment.
Somebody, as soon as it happened, somebody goes, "What the fuck is that? Get that shit out of here! Who the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Dude, it's patchouli."
It was like that part off of Anchorman,
Yeah.
When it's like, it smells like a turd wrapped in burnt
Sex
hair.
Panther.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. This is worse than the time the raccoon got the copier. That's literally what it was. It was. I still haven't got that stink out of the basement.
Really, it is really.
And I'm trying to
still?
cover it up with copious amounts of booze and vomit. I can't.
Cigarette smoke, booze, vomit, probably piss
2 packs
down
a
a
day,
storm
something.
drain
Yeah.
or something.
In a world where Telebastard left us to die, 3 remained. All things insane. With Barrett Louet, Joss H. Wishaw, and Tom Selleck.
We're on this video chat right now. We had a Telebastard user in with us, and we thought that was fitting and appropriate. And we talked about it earlier. We are going to actually kind of try and jazz things up, do something a little bit different.
We're going to take our pants off.
We are going to take our pants off and
First all
finally,
new podcast, guys.
Speaking of Bush.
We're going to actually also talk about other things that you see on TV. First off, we have to fucking talk about the shake weight. What
my
the
God.
fuck is that? The first time I thought that was somebody jacking off a robot. Literally.
I think the creator of that was a woman, and she's like, "Man, I'm getting muscles from jerking off my husband or something." And like, how do you come up with that idea?
How did you come up with that voice just now?
I don't know.
That's dead
What was the inspiration for that?
bullseye? Hit the nail on the
I
head.
don't know. Boom.
No, they actually have a shake weight for women, though, also.
Well, it's pink.
Specifically just for women.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah, they make
white with like pink ends on it.
So
Yeah.
you know it works better.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about shake weight, because I may have taken one out of the package at Walmart the other day and tried it. I did.
He was doing his homework.
I was doing my homework, actually. Anyway, it you do it for a minute and you look ridiculous while you're doing it, but it doesn't make you feel like you're working out at all. I mean, you watch them do it on TV and you're like, oh, well, I guess I could see where, even as silly as it looks, it's some sort of exercise. I don't even think it's that. I think it's just something ridiculous to get people to do. I think it's this big joke. Because the first time
And they're making money off
the
of
first
it.
time I saw the commercial, funny enough, I saw it on funnyordie.com. I thought it was a joke. I didn't realize that it was real yet.
That was like, was it an advertisement before
Yeah.
a video? Yeah.
And I thought that was the video. I thought that was.
So you're already laughing.
Yeah, I was like,
confused.
that's funny. It's a jack off thing. And then turns out, hey, that's real. And people are like, I gotta get one of those. That's something. But yeah, there's no. I can't see. I mean, obviously, I'm in pretty good shape myself. I don't need a jack off shake weight. But what I'm saying is,
we are seasoned jackabators.
yeah, I don't see where it's gonna do anything for anybody.
No, and what I love about the advertisements is they get these people that just like, if they shit, they look ripped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the smallest like things to exert energy.
Mm-hmm.
It shows off their physiques.
Yeah.
So they purposely get these people to sit there and look at all these. It works your core.
Yeah,
it
well,
works all the major muscles.
I think that's the problem, though. It's all there's so much false advertising in it, because it's like, these people spend 5 hours a day with a personal trainer to look the way that they do.
Right.
They didn't get that way from the shake weight or the NordiTrack or some fucking pull up machine sponsored by some UFC dude.
Right.
I mean, it didn't come from shit like that. I mean, they really put the work in to do that.
It was a full-time job for them to get the way that they look.
Scam alert.
Yep.
Exactly. Speaking of another scam, the ShamWow, that is a fucking scam and a half.
Yeah. My mom's got one, and it is the most thing.
Where does all the moisture go?
The Germans made it, so you know it's
Hey, didn't the guy that like did the infomercial for that, didn't he get caught with a prostitute or something?
Yeah, big time. He got beat up by a prostitute.
Really?
Yeah, he got fucking black eyed by a prostitute.
Made in Germany. You know the Germans always make good stuff.
I wouldn't say that to a real
You
German.
want to keep warm when you're feeling chilled, but you don't want to raise your heating bill. Blankets are okay, but they can slip and slide. And when you need to reach for something, your hands are trapped inside. Now, there's the Snuggie, the blanket that has sleeves.
You know,
the Snuggie
we
keeps
gotta
you
talk
totally
about
warm
Snuggie.
and
Oh,
gives you the
God.
freedom to
I'm gonna go ahead and just lay this out there. If you're my friend and you can hear this and you own a Snuggie, congratulations, we're not friends anymore. You're the laziest piece of shit I've ever met.
That was the determining factor right there.
I mean, seriously, like how fucking, you know what it is? It's a robe.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say.
exactly what
Put
it
on a
is,
fucking
except
robe.
It opens in the back instead of the front. That seems much
Oh.
less convenient to me.
Well, that means you can't do it by yourself. Putting on a Snuggie is a 2-man job.
Putting on a Snuggie is the romantic robe. is
I
what it is.
also, if you think about it, you put it on from the back, and these
Oh,
people
you
are
know what
crazy
I'm
to buy
saying,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, you get a little back
Maybe
door
it ain't
action.
crazy,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little late night visit.
the back door.
Little late
Should I
night trap
let him
door
in?
visit. But when you think about it, man, these people are fucking stupid and crazy for buying these Snuggies to begin with. They also put straight jackets on from behind.
Yes.
I
yes.
mean, think about the correlation there. Stupid versus crazy.
Speaking of the Snuggie, which is obviously a fucking scam,
Love it.
there's comparable items that have been out way before any of us were born, hundreds of years, like a fucking bathrobe.
Oh, yeah.
One Christmas, I got a fine present called the Magic Wallet. Did you guys ever see the commercials for the Magic Wallet?
One
You
time I
remember that?
dated a girl
With a magic
who
wallet?
had a magic wallet.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've seen how shitty these things are.
Oh, yeah.
They literally are cardboard with like black around the outside of them. But I got a magic wallet for Christmas, piece of shit present. Basically, the selling point of the magic wallet was that you're supposed to be able to throw anything inside of it, close the wallet, open it back up, and your items are securely organized inside of the magic wallet. And all it was like whenever you do the little rubber band trick on your hand, you had to do it a specific way
to get it to work right.
And you could only put in dollar bills. They advertised it as like putting in credit cards. It had to be something that was like flimsy that gave. The only thing that it worked on was fucking
money,
dollar bills.
What a ripoff!
Who keeps money in their wallet?
Yeah,
I only keep rolls of pennies for when I see hobos. That's it.
For throwing them out to the hobos.
Yeah. Wallet.
Also, a scam on workout equipment. The fucking Nexercise. Has anybody seen that?
Oh God,
I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but
that's probably what it's called.
Basically,
get rid of your turkey gizzard.
It is to get rid of your turkey gizzard. Which realize if you use one of these things, what your fucking neck is gonna look like afterwards.
Yeah, it'll look like 20 times worse probably.
You're gonna look like fucking Brock Lesnar. Is what you're gonna look like. No neck at all.
Yeah.
You can't talk about
it was a metaphor.
Made for TV items without thinking about old Billy. We're gonna miss you,
Billy Mays, yeah.
Recently died.
Yeah.
It was a rumor that he died from a cocaine overdose.
No, that was the report. The official report.
I knew that he loved the white stuff.
Well, obviously, that's why he was the way he was.
That's why he got into the infomercial business.
You thought that
Hi, Billy Mays here.
The whole time that he was selling OxyClean, that was a storage device.
It's actually called. Cocaine. It's actually Oxycane. They just had to change the name to censor it.
Yes. Now that everybody knows this out there, they're probably going to fucking start lining up.
Did you hear what Fox News tried to do to cover it being a cocaine overdose?
What?
They said that when he boarded the airliner the night before, that his suitcase fell on his head and caused him to have hemorrhaging in his brain, and that was completely not the case at all. Ended up being a cocaine overdose, and they were trying to like mask it up by saying that a suitcase fell on his head.
Well, you got
no, that's not Fox News.
I thought it was Fox.
Really?
Yeah,
they sell lies. Fox News
propaganda.
No, he was a very respectable member of the infomercial community.
I'll tell you what the finest television on cable network is. Our television show on cable network is, and that's the Glenn Beck Show.
I love it.
You know he's a Mormon.
Really? Why would you disgrace Mormonism like that? By even letting that out.
I'm just saying, Glenn
really
Beck's a Mormon. I swear to God, look it up. Google it.
Huh.
Wow.
I never really gave a shit enough about him to look up anything about him.
Let's just look at this guy.
But,
I mean, he's on Fox News. He's a Tea Party member, and he's a Mormon. I can just see him in one of those commercials now. Hi, I'm Glenn Beck. I love the Tea Party. I work for Fox News, and I am a Mormon. Have you seen those commercials?
Does he really say that in a commercial?
No, I'm just saying, have you not seen the Mormon commercials on TV?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's the reference I was making.
Okay.
Why am I not funny? Nobody thinks I'm funny.
Your references are weird. See, Kato's been bottling it up this whole time.
Shit, Dad.
And Spider-Man just came.
I love it when you come, Spider-Man.
It's sticky. Just like his special web.
There you go. Anything else fucked up on TV? Are we going to wrap it up?
Oh, well, if we're going to talk about things that are fucked up on TV.
Glenn Beck is fat. Fuck him.
Fuck Glenn Beck, period.
Fuck Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck, actually, that reminded me, I was going to say something about Glenn Beck that we haven't discussed on the show, is his whole I have a dream illusion whenever he had his little rally in Washington, D.C. Was that not one of the sickest things that you've ever seen? I guess it's just me. I feel like I'm a fucking old man in spirit because
you kind of look like an old man.
I do look like an old man right now from Dressed at Work. The spirit of things like I have a dream speech. What he was doing is entirely like what Glenn Beck is doing is entirely not what the spirit of that was about. It was about actually bringing people together whenever Glenn Beck's just trying to broaden the gap between not just political parties, but I think races. And we can go back to the hippie talk. Modern day people that claim themselves to be hippies are nothing what the spirit was. It was a counterculture back the late 60s and 70s. It was to rebel against things that were happening, like the Vietnam War and the Nixon administration. It's not everything that it is today is not what it used to be. It's not the same spirit of things. And it's kind of sad, I think
To that.
we accept it though. Also,
Yeah, we do. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean,
even if you don't promote it or you're not a part of it, you're all right with it
Well,
because that's what it is today.
even then, I mean, the hippie movement got out of hand then, just simply because you had these people that had some really great talking points and had something to say, and they believed in something, and they lived their lives accordingly, you
Yeah.
know. And then somehow it became about not taking a shower and fucking everything that moves and being
Laying on the
moonbeams.
patchouli and
Yeah, and like
being completely baked or tripping on acid.
I feel
the whole
bad
time.
for these revolutionaries, from 30, 40, 50 years ago that really had something to say. And unfortunately, these sheepish people needed something so superficial for them to go along with them. And the sad thing is all this time later, that's all people see in it. They don't see someone trying to make a difference or trying to change something for the better. They just see someone, trying to be a hippie, trying to be so liberal it's sick.
Yeah.
Extremists on either side, neither one of them can be right.
Mhm.
Because they're both there simply to oppose the other.
Yeah, and
If
they
you
just
get rid of extremism,
they cancel each other out.
everything is, Bill Maher said it just the other day on Real Time about how if you got the left and the right keeps getting more extreme to the right, and then they want the left to meet in the middle. The middle is constantly going closer to the right because
Right.
it's a shifting parallel,
Mhm.
And the same thing happens on the side with hippies because what we come to understand as hippies isn't, just like you said, it's not in the spirit of what it actually is. I mean, these people that wanted to do this were revolutionaries,
Mhm.
I mean, in the same way that, the same thing happened with Martin Luther King. I mean, he was a really intelligent guy who had something to say, who wanted just simply better things for the people that he had things in common with, and some people got that, and some people understood that, and some people made their protest. But then these other people are like, well, let's just root and pillage the fuck out of everything,
Mhm.
and those people completely miss the point. And those people are what ruin it for everybody else, So, I mean, it's kind of unfair, to those hippies, to these hippies. And the fucked up thing is there's a big lesson to learn and nobody gets it.
I would like to take one of the founding fathers and just bring him today and set him in the middle of everything that's going on. I mean, obviously, the obvious things that would just, turn their world upside down, advancements in technology and everything,
Fox News.
how we dress, everything. But like
culture and media.
the joke that Kato just made, Fox News. I mean, if they sat and saw where the political spectrums went now,
Oh God.
I think that where we are now is just entirely different.
It's a
it's okay
complete
for us to
opposite.
go and liberate a country now. Whenever
Forcefully.
we were running away from that type of thing
Mhm.
in the past, we're doing the exact same thing that the Romans did whenever they tried to expand their empire, and the Persians and Great Britain whenever they were the leading power in the world.
Mhm.
We're doing the exact same thing that this country was found against.
Yep.
Yep, I completely agree.
But somehow we did end up on a political talk once again. So we will see you guys next podcast.
I want to thank you guys for letting me be on here. And can I say I want to end by saying one thing:
Go right ahead.
Viva l'abortion.
Hey, this is Josh from ATI Podcast. For show updates and news about the podcast, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ATI Podcast 22, on Twitter at podcast_ATI, on Instagram at the ATI Podcast, on TikTok at ATI Podcast. DMs are always welcome. Have a question for the show? You can always email us at ATIPodcastQuestions@gmail.com. Stay safe out there.